Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, The Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. Let me let y'all in while I take a sip of my coffee to wake me up. How about that? Who's with me? Come on. In the Monday room, daily motivations for African American success, as we are journaling through my bad copy of Daily Motivations for African American Success. The book is written by Kimbro. So we've been journaling now 235 days. Wow, y'all. I'm feeling it on both sides. Like, I'm motivated, but I tell you, well, I've been doing a lot too, traveling. So we just got back in late last night. And so up and at it this morning. Who's with me so that we can groove on in and get this party started and get on with our Monday and our week. Say hello, good people. Great people. Who do we have? Auntie Richetta says, good morning, Butterfly and Nephew. Good morning, Auntie Richetta. Let's see. I see you guys out there. Say good morning so that we can get the barbecue started. Bring your food in. Big Al Sal, Alvin Williams Jr. is in with us this morning. Are y'all grooving? There is my great everything, everyone. Happy Monday, she says. It's Brenda Davis. All right, y'all got your coffee? Because I need it. I got to sip before we start. All right. Let's get the barbecue started, y'all. It's just going to be me this morning, it looks like. Make sure that this is stopped. There we go. So great morning, you guys. We're on day 235 of Daily Motivations for African American Success. I will tell you guys that I did not get a chance to put the second part of the 5 steps to writing or to being successful at your goals starting. So I'll get those out there to you this morning before I run out the door. Let's get it started. Let's just jump right into it. Well, some of you asked about making up the day for Saturday. How do y'all suggest we do that? Because it sounds like we may have to just kind of do one show to catch us up, or we maybe could do 2 in a day, but that would have to be a very selective day. Maybe Wednesday would be a good day if you guys want to kind of wrap it up in one session, which means we could take 30 minutes to catch up and then get back on track with the show for that particular day. So I didn't skip a day at all, if that matters to you guys. After thinking about it, I wondered if you thought that I just skipped a day. I did not. So it would just get us back on track for the 365 daily days, right? So daily motivations for African American success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead you to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 short but powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, who is also the author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, and become wise enough to know when to say yes, but also when to say no, but also when to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans, such as, but not limited to, Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Gout, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. But what it teaches should and will last a lifetime. So that's what the barbecue is for. Big Mike says, good morning, everyone. So, excuse me, I put out there, you guys, so you have to kind of make some suggestions as to how you will want to catch up. All right. So give me some suggestions on that because, again, I didn't skip a day. I just didn't air and went right with the day that was supposed to be on that day, which was Saturday. And it was technical difficulties, y'all. And I think it might have been me. I think I learned something from that traveling. You know, I probably should have connected my phone to my computer to get my hotspot rather than just trying to connect it and not connect the phone. I had the internet, but it didn't have enough juice where I was to, I say juice, to make it happen. I could get on, but I couldn't pull myself in. It just kept dragging to pull me in. So I think I learned something though. So that I may need another time if I'm traveling again. So let's get it going. Let's get it going, you guys. I'm only going to put our, let's see, save there. I'm only going to put our topic out for today. And let me change one more thing. See, this is why I miss the crew, because while they're on here, I can be doing what I have to do, but it's all good, y'all. All good. There we go. There we go. Didn't like how that was looking. All right, you guys. So today's topic is the glass ceiling. And our quote comes from Halle Berry. She says, "Did I pay my dues? You bet. Was it tough? Without a doubt. But I was determined to find out how high is high." She says, but I was determined to find out how high is high. And again, that comes from Halle Berry. Let's see what we got here. Frederick Dudley says, "Grand Rising. I was thinking about you because I said you owe me a call back. I'm waiting now. We're not gonna do like we do. Just kind of start it and not finish it. So you owe me a call back. Let's do it. Let's do it." So the glass ceiling, and Halle Berry says, "Did I pay my dues? You bet. Was it tough? Without a doubt. But I was determined to find out how high is high." Wow. How high is high? All right, y'all, let that be the one for today. How high is high? So experts in psychology say you cannot change your whole personality. Yet, regardless of the personality you have, you can be content with yourself. Wait, you know what? Let me go back and read this, you guys. Experts in psychology say you cannot change your whole personality. Okay. I hadn't read this one, so we're gonna have to do this one together. Yet, regardless of the personality you have, you can be content with yourself and your world. I don't like this one so far. The first part has thrown me off. The way to achieve this peace of mind is to develop yourself as fully as possible. Okay, they feeding me now. The way to achieve this peace of mind is to develop yourself as fully as possible. Each of us has a ceiling of performance. This ceiling is high in the areas in which you excel and low in the areas in which you have little or no aptitude. Okay. Your peace of mind is dissatisfaction. A peace of mind or dissatisfaction is directly related to how far you develop your own abilities and skills. If you knew how to exploit your talents fully, you would know complete contentment. Your discounter reflects your unfulfilled potential. Okay. Just how much of your potential are you using? 50%, 30%? How about 20? A man who spends his Saturdays constructing a summer home or chasing a remote idea is usually much happier than the man who spends his weekends lying on his couch. As a mile, the person whose job makes him work close to his potential is much happier, or a much happier person. The tougher the task, the more fulfilled the individual. Contentment comes to us when we become fully engaged with our powers and our potential. It is important that each of us maintain a mental picture of the person we want to become. Okay. This blocks boredom and feelings of inferiority caused by working too far below our potential. Self-fulfillment comes to those who work full blast, fully extended. Only then can we experience the satisfaction of a job well done. And our affirmation for today says, today I will ask, how much of my potential am I using? I will begin to exploit my talents. Again, the affirmation, today I will ask, how much of my potential am I using? And I will begin to exploit my talents. Okay. I think I'm going to go back to one because I think I misread it. Your content reflects your unfulfilled potential. Your discontent reflects your unfulfilled potential. Okay, so I'm going to start. I do believe that the glass is the ceiling. I'll say that it's even the sky, the stars beyond is how I look at it. Like, again, I'm going to take it back to serving a big God. So having with big power who can take us far beyond what we ever could imagine. And Halle Berry says, did I pay my dues? You bet. Because there's some dues to pay when you set your standards high, right? There's some sleepless nights that will happen. Y'all, brush it off, right? There, you have to get up when there's no get up in you. As it said a few days ago, you have to work injured, basically. You have to, it's going to hurt. You have to block out the pain and work tired, work hurt, and say, I'll catch up later. I'll do the things that fill in while I reach for the stars. Because as you reach for the stars, there's some climbing, some extra climbing that has to take place. So are there dues to pay? Halle Berry says, you bet. Was it tough? Is it tough, y'all? Without a doubt, she says. But I was determined to find out how high is high. Are you determined? And what does determined look like for you? Y'all, because, I thought about it this morning that I didn't put the second, I guess, advice, the second part of the setting those goals and writing them out. But if I didn't, guess what? You still should have did it, right? And maybe I'm doing too much, Maybe I'm giving you guys too much, right? Because Google and Alexis just like I do, and I'm pulling it from there. I'm reading it, I'm copying it, I'm pasting it if I think it's good. But what if you find something that's better for you, right? Right. So are you determined, or do we get caught up in, oh, we'll let somebody else do the work, and if they don't do it, then oh well, then I didn't do it because they didn't get it to me. I didn't finish writing out my goal because they didn't get it to me. But if you were determined and the glass ceiling or the stars, right, is what you're reaching for, it wouldn't matter if it was me that failed to send you some information that will help you write those goals out, or someone else. Because truth be told, like, I don't always have the time. I just make the time. Why? Because I feel it's my duty. I'm determined to help people in the best way that I can succeed. But it has to be a people who wants to be successful in the journey of self-awareness. Who am I? What is my highest potential, right? What are my gifts and talents? What is my purpose? What are my true goals? Not in this season's goals for me, not Dennis Kimbro, not me, not Brandon, not those who have joined us here today, right? And it says here, if you knew how to exploit your talents fully, you would know complete contentment. Your discontent reflects your unfulfilled potential. And y'all, there's a bunch of, I say the word bunch, lots, right? My grandson says, I want a lot of bit more, Grandma. When I say, you want a little bit more? No, I want a lot of bit more, Grandma, right? Something in that. So many of us want a lot of bit more out of life, as my grandson would put it. And it's easy for me to give him a lot of bit more food if that's what he's asking for. In most cases, that's when that term is used. Or a lot bit more to drink. But the only person that can give you a lot bit more of life is you. Because God's already given it. You were created with it, born with it. The word came up as I visited my dad this weekend and just had a joyous time. I don't know if I said this yesterday, but y'all, was in the country sitting up under the trees with that breeze going. We fried some fish outside. It was just beautiful. It's our home church. It's where many of my relatives, my grandmother, my granddad, they're buried there. So we have the cemetery out there as well. Y'all had the best watermelon I've had in years because they threw seeds out. Didn't even plant them. They threw watermelon seeds out. And boy, did they grow. And boy, were they good. Have you ever, fish and watermelon is what I had, y'all. Fish and watermelon, fried brim, pulling it off the bone. It was so good. But you know what I truly enjoyed? Just feeling the feeling of being away from it all. The hustle and the bustle, the peace of the breeze that you felt on time. You felt it at the opportune time, meaning that sun had shifted a little bit more to the right or the left. And then the breeze comes as you move your chair over, because going a little bit farther away from the sun. But boy, was it peaceful. The air was crisp, right? So it fed me in a sense. But y'all, many of us are fighting ourselves, right? We're not operating to our highest potential. We don't know what that is. We're not determined to find out how high is high. We stuck on how low can you go, right? I don't know why I just thought about that. Y'all know that song? But how high? And when we go low, can we get up? Because sometimes we go down and we need help coming back up, right? How low can you go? But how high can you go? How high do you want to go? How determined are you to go? What are you reaching for? Because if you're not reaching for that ceiling or the stars or the moon, guess what? You don't have to be too determined. It's not much you have to do. You continue to be the man on the couch. There's nothing wrong with being selective and having those days where you've planned for the couch, for rest. But too many of us choose the couch over just getting up, walking, right? Moving. We do nothing. So not much to get out of this other than you have to be a student of life. And not just of life, but of your life, your true goals. What does life look like for you in the way of being successful? Is it just the tangible things? Is it just the things that you go to work to buy? Or is it the things that you wake up with in order to be and evolve and grow and transform your life, to be renewed by the transforming your mind so that you may know God's will for you? And then oftentimes we're not content, or the discontent comes from the fighting of self. And in that, you are fighting God because He's created you to be great, to go, to soar, to be determined. But we think small, we live small, and then we buy into being small, or at least feeling small. But Halle Berry says, did I pay my dues? And sometimes I wonder, what dues do some pay? Coming from, and Halle Berry, y'all, I think she's one of the most beautiful women in the world. I really, really do. If you've been rocking with me a lot, you've heard me say that. But I also think, don't know her. I only can go by what I hear, but I think there's a lot of healing that needs to take place, like in most of us, right? But let's see. I'm sorry, I got a little pop in. I just want to make sure you guys, it sounds like somebody is having trouble hearing. Miss Brenda says, I'm not having any issues. Okay, so Miss Brenda's not having any issues hearing the podcast this morning. Toy, make sure you are not on mute, or maybe need to go out and come back in. Okay. Not sure. Not sure. Toy, are you using the right link? Because if you're using the link that I sent you previously, that was for the previous shows, and you may be connected to a different one. Oh, well, then there's someone else. Oh, that's Express. That's our girl. Oh, that's Toy. See, y'all know her only by Toy. You can't come in with this Express Marshall. So I'm not sure, Toy. Are you listening from YouTube? It looks like you're listening from YouTube. Um, and if so, maybe something's going on over there. I'm not sure. So, but you can go back and catch up and listen to it. I'm not going to keep you guys much longer. I need to get out of here. But this is about being a student of life, you guys, and knowing who you are. Much about all this journey anyway. Growing in character, taking every thought captive, and knowing that you must, because God knows our thoughts will send us places that we had no intention or intentions of visiting, of going. And we'll go to those places and we'll stay. We'll go to them and we'll stay. We'll have a staycation in our thoughts, in a location that was never meant for us. You get that? We'll go somewhere. Our thoughts will send us somewhere, right? And we will go to that location and have a staycation. But we were never meant to be there. So take those thoughts captive. Measure them according to where you're going, what you're doing, where you want to go. And be willing to put in the dues. But also know when to say yes and when to say no. And not just to others, but to yourself. You have to talk the thing out so that you can walk it out and walk into your destiny, into your peace. Because every word you utter, as Dennis Kimbro tells us, every thought that you think, every deed, action, is taking you somewhere. And are you determined to even fight those? Are you determined? So the biggest or the greatest lies, I'll say, that we tell are the ones that we tell to ourselves. Okay, I'm good. I got this thing. I'm doing this thing. Right? And sometimes it's just we're talking about it, talking about doing it, coming here, listening, and thinking it's doing it. But there's so much work that goes even behind or after this show, you know, so much. Some of you may need to read it again, watch the show again, take notes as you're listening. But if you're just listening and you don't see any change, especially with 235, we're doing 35 days, and some of you have walked with us all of those days, right? And no matter the days, because you start where you are and you do what you should do, and what you should do, you ought to do. All coming from previous days, these things that I'm saying, previous days here. And most everything our affirmation gives us is I will. I will. That means action. I will. Right? So you guys, this topic today, the glass ceiling, right? Let's reach higher. There's no glass ceiling. Let's break it. Let's break it. And let's pay our dues, right? And let's know that it's going to be tough, especially if you're starting this thing late in life. Because that means you've allowed a lot of and had a lot of pain, hurt, discontent, you know, in your life that you now have to break. I'll say break the glass ceiling, right? Break out of so that you can break the glass ceiling. And so, truth be told, I think we all can agree on that we've all had a few seasons, maybe where we've gotten stuck. Going in a season, coming out of a season, right? Or in one right now that we need to break free of, pay our dues, grow through with the self-awareness that we are accumulating, right? In our journey. Right. So y'all, let's continue to work on those goals, determine what success is for you, for your purpose. And this doesn't have to be everybody's purpose, but y'all, I think it will do us some justice if you just start with my purpose, my life's purpose is to bring glory to the kingdom of God through my light, my living, love for people, right? My transformation. My cup will runneth over, and my saucer too, but not just for me. Not just for me. Because this world, you guys, I heard just a little bit of a story yesterday that broke my heart, right? And one of the reasons is because it's the second time I've heard this story in a matter, different people, but all having to do with a mother and a son. And it is unimaginable, right? I cannot even, just as I was trying to get through and understand the one that I heard with my own ears a few weeks ago, here I got someone, telling me about another situation with a son and a mother that is unbelievable. That we could get to a place where we have to encounter these types of situations or hear of, and know these people, like know them, shows where we are and how we cannot continue to, number one, be accountable for our growth, for our very personal growth in character, right? And from number two, be there for people who are going through some stuff that I can't even imagine them having the strength to go through it. Certainly not to grow through it. Is it possible? Yes, but there comes a time when things like this that sometimes you don't even know how to go or grow. And sometimes not even know how to pray and ask God to intervene because it seems just that bad, right? But then I think about, I'll turn you over to a reprobate mind, which is a dangerous state of mind. And some of us has gotten so deep into our wounds and pain, right? So deep into it that it has become who we are. It's the way we live. I had Jimmy asked me a question yesterday about how can this certain person continue in picking the same type of guy, as we were, having conversation as we were traveling back in. It's because she's the same person. She's not changing. And that's what feeds her, even though it's not what she wants, right? She's craving, I don't know, I'll say chicken and eating pork chop, right? She's craving a steak, if maybe that's her craving, but she doesn't know. She doesn't feel valuable enough, or that she has enough to go buy that steak, come home, marinate it, cook it, just like she wants it. So she keeps going back to the pork chop. The man who does not serve her any good. And why? Because she doesn't feel deserving. And she's not, maybe she doesn't see it. I won't say determined to just wait and grow. Let me get myself together. Because you start to ponder, does she recognize she's picking the same person, the same type of person? And when I say the same type, down to the T, just in a different body, right? Characteristics the same, in the way that she's treated the same. So it's the same with life. Life will treat you how you see it and how you see yourself. So start thinking and knowing you are great now as you grow through what you're going through. You are spiritually wonderfully made. Your creator knows everything about you. You don't. He knows the number of hairs on your head. You don't. But I tell you, if you want to know something about yourself, get to know God. Spend time with God. Right? Because in seeking him is a seeking of yourself. So let's be determined today. Let's know that there are dues to pay. Right? Without a doubt, you got to know that it's going to be tough. Right? And maybe that's what these expert psychologists is meaning in this first sentence. You cannot change your whole personality. I don't know. I have to think on that one. Yet, regardless of the personality you have, you can become content with yourself and the world. I want to be content with the person that I'm becoming and that I want to be. And in that, I have to change. Even down to the personality. Because even if it's a changing to what it was meant to be, right? Because some of the personality that I had and that I carried had nothing to do with how the creator created me. It was more to do with the pain that I bought into, the staycation in the wrong location that I went to, right? But as I come back home, y'all, as I return, it's so serious until I'm starting to eat things that I had never liked. You could never get me to eat squash. And this is how deep I'm into it. I think about things like that, like I'm eating stuff that I never desired, never even liked the taste of. That's changing. Down to the point I've said sometimes I feel so different and detached from the Tammy that I had grown to know, that I want to change her name. Will I? Not likely. But it just confirms for me this journey of self, of learning and determining what's my true goals. You know, what kind of man I deserve. That pork chop or that steak, right? And your meat might be different. It might be salmon, and whatever, right? Same for you men. Don't keep picking the same kind of woman. Because if you're noticing the same kind of characteristics and things like that, glass ceiling, glass ceiling. So you guys are quiet today. Toy, glad you got in. I'll have to touch base with you to kind of find out what happened so that we don't have that happen again. And sorry about that. Thank you guys for coming to the barbecue today. We'll talk. I'll talk to a few of you offline to find out how you want to catch up, so that we'll on to. I don't know how we're going to do that. I got to think about that. Like I said, because we didn't really miss a day because I used that same day on Sunday. But we would be on 236 now. Yep, rather than 235. So we could catch up that way, and we'll let you guys know and keep you updated on that. But go be great today, and remember, Halle Berry said, did I pay my dues? Like the glass ceiling, right? Did I pay my dues? And I'll say to exceed that. Did I break the glass ceiling, right? Am I breaking it every day in the way that I'm pursuing life, living life? You bet, she says. Was it tough? Without a doubt. I like this. That's why I keep reading it. But I was determined to find out how high is high for me. How high can I go, right? In our affirmation today, I will ask, how much of my potential am I using? 50%, 30%, 20%, right? How much of your potential are you using? I will begin to exploit my talents. Let's add gifts to that, right? This could be very important as we are going through this season of determining our goals and working to be successful in reaching them, right? This could be, very helpful in that, determining your potential, your gifts, your talents, and understanding how much or what percentage of them are you using. All right. So let's get out of here, you guys. Let's groove on out. You know how we do it. Hopefully, you know how we do it now. So let's do our thing. Don't go. Let's feed life. Y'all go be great, great people. Hey, feeling a little bit better, y'all, because I'm tired. All right, y'all. Do y'all's thing. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. But until then, I'm going to say, whether this is what they meant or not, break that glass ceiling, right? That's why it's glass. So you can break it and live up to your potential. Peace.